Okay, good morning to all. So, can you see my slide? Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So, we try to complete today the finite volume methodology. Okay, so this is, you can say, the final part. And you also can see what we have covered in the previous lecture. So, that previous lecture is very, very important, you can say. So, in this previous lecture, we covered mainly the semi-explicit finite volume method. You can see the predictor step and how we have predicted the velocity, and after this we have predicted in the mass flux or your continuity equation. Then in correction equation or the corrector step, you have seen how we have corrected the, or how we have first written the actual pressure, velocities and the mass flux. The mass flux is differently, which is not appeared in your finite difference method. And finally we obtained the equation for the pressure correction. So this is the same case what we have obtained in FDM also, because we don't have the pressure equation. So your continuity equation will become a pressure correction equation here also. And you also understood that in one time step we are having one more iteration for the pressure correction equation. So from this pressure correction you will get the pressure correction, and then we'll go for the next step, next time step. Okay, so today we'll also learn about this. Okay, so today you will see mostly about the boundary conditions and their implementation issues. As you can see in the previous lecture, we have seen the governing equations, how they can be solved or how they can be discretized. Okay, and governing equations, actually, if you have better idea now, uh, any you will consider any domain, then on the boundaries you will be requiring boundary conditions along with your governing equations to solve. Okay, so this is main agenda today, boundary condition and their implementation. And second most important agenda is the algorithm. Algorithm also we have seen in the FDM of the simple method. Okay, so here also we'll see more or less the algorithm is same, but here you can see we have to fit the equations what we have seen in the lecture number 4 or in the previous lecture. Okay, the main idea is the simple. Okay, so as you know, the boundary conditions are slightly different for both unconfined domain and the confined domain. This part already we have seen many times, and especially in the overview part we have seen in very detail the type of boundary conditions or the type of flow, external flow, internal flow, like that. So first we'll see the boundary conditions, and then we'll consider one system, one simple system, so that we can implement the boundary conditions in the finite volume methodology. Okay, so this is the simplest case of the unconfined situation, or you can say the external flow situation. Okay, and simply you just have this, you can see on the top and you can see on the bottom, you are having the dash line. So these are the artificial boundaries. Okay, or you can consider you are in a hostel, or you are sitting in a room of that hostel, and wind is flowing over it. Okay, so you don't know where what is the limit for the external limit. Okay, so you have to provide some artificial boundaries, because ultimately you have to solve any situation in your computer. Okay, so we will create some artificial boundary. There is also idea you have got when we have discussed about how we decide the boundary condition for the external flow situations or the unconfined flow situations. Okay, and you can consider this, whatever you can see here, the square block, you can consider that you are that is your building or that is your room, or it could be anywhere. For the simplicity you can consider in the middle, or you can remove it, there is no issue, or you can place at any position. This is just the sample schematic diagram just to tell you about the boundary conditions, because we will be using, for instance, in the unconfined flow situation, you are having the uniform flow. Okay. Or you can consider there is an aeroplane and wind is flowing over it. Okay, so at the inlet you are having a uniform flow system, or whatever you can see here on the cylinder or on the object, everything actually written in the form of a dimensionless, है ना? So if you want to write u in a dimensional way, you can consider u is u infinity. Okay, and t is t infinity. Here it is no slip, so there is no impact, so that will be the same. Velocities are 0 and temperature you can see T equals to 1. So you can consider there is some temperature, okay? Or you can consider T wall is the temperature of this object, and at the inlet, which is not shown, you can consider T infinity is the temperature at the inlet. Okay. And other situation temperature also you will see, let's say for this, you can consider del T by del Y equals to 0. The similar boundary condition for the temperature is employed at the bottom also. And at the outlet, you can consider del phi by del x equals to 0, where phi you can consider at any variable. It could be a u, it could be a v, it could be a temperature, and don't forget pressure also we have learned, है ना? So you will see I mentioned when we described about the boundary conditions, not only you will be requiring the velocity and the temperature conditions, but also the pressure conditions also. Okay, so I suggested that at one of the boundaries, for instance, at the outlet, you just take the Dirichlet conditions, and everywhere else you just consider dp by dn, where n is the normal direction equals to 0. And same for the pressure correction, because pressure correction also you have to use. So this boundary condition is in a similar way is applicable for whatever with the pressure condition you are taking. The same is you can consider for the pressure correction also. Okay, I just give you some mathematical expression. So at inlet you can consider that you are having a uniform condition. So uniform means u infinity as I suggested, and t is as t infinity. Okay, and two classical way of thermal boundary condition also you know, so no need to explain this constant wall temperature condition, and it is a constant heat flux condition. Okay, and you can consider your v is 0, na? In a dimensional way also, na? So whatever you can see on this slide, it is in a dimensionless way. And one condition you can also consider at the outlet. I suggested this one. This is a Newman condition, but this condition also can be utilized. That is referred as the convective boundary condition. I already given you this idea about this, or many times it is said as a Orlansky boundary condition also. And also you can consider this. The variable phi, it could be u, v, t. Okay. Or if you are having any confusion, you just drop this term, and you are only left with this your Nyman condition, what I suggested here. Okay. And any object, you can consider no slip condition for the velocities. Temperature, the heated one, you can consider this. And for in the case of constant wall temperature, you will be getting this. Okay. So I mean to say that this already we have seen, so I am going forward, and if you are having any questions, you can ask anytime. Now the case for the channel confinement, or you can consider flow inside a pipe, internal flow situation boundary condition you also know. Here instead of your artificial boundary conditions, you are having the real boundary condition on the top and bottom. Because of that, you are having zero velocities at the corners and maximum velocity at the center. So that is why you are having some parabolic type of velocity profile at the inlet. So this mathematical expression you will also see in the next slide. Rest is the same story. T1 is the T wall temperature, as I said. In the case of a constant wall temperature conditions. External flow or outlet condition is the same. You can consider simplicity del phi by del x equals to 0. Okay, right. So now inlet country condition I suggested here dy, you just can see in the previous slide. This is a function of y, y is this direction. You just see, and this is the expression of the u velocity and v is velocity is 0. And again, this is written everything mathematical expression in a dimensionless form. Okay, and beta is your you can say the blockage ratio. How it is defined? You just see if this is the uh, side of this channel, and this is h, or here it is written L2. L2 is the length of the channel. So B by L2, B by L2 is defined as the blockage ratio. Okay. So B by L2 is your blockage ratio. No. Okay. And you already know, if you are playing with the non-Newtonian part, you can keep it as n plus 1 divided by n. If you are playing with Newtonian, then n equals to 1 simply. So this boundary condition you can consider like this or like this. It is your choice, but it is better. No slip condition on the object, you can consider no slip condition. And I have not shown here the constant wall temperature condition and the constant heat flux condition, constant wall, because these are the same. Whatever you can see here, the boundary conditions are same. Okay, so that is why I have not shown. So this is already we have seen previously also. Now we just straight away go to the implementation part. Okay, so consider any domain. As I suggested, for the simplicity, you can consider this type of a rectangular box, let's say, or a square box. So this is our domain. So whatever you can see in this figure, there is a rectangular type of box with the red lines. Can you see this? I hope yes. So whatever you can see outside, there are the dash lines. Or you now see this, if you can read this is a fictitious cells. Means outside this red color box, you can see this is the red color box I am talking about. Okay, and outside this box you are having some dash lines. Okay, those are your fictitious cells. Or if I just create here, let's say whatever the outside of this box are my fictitious cells. Fictitious means imaginary cells. That will give the easiness in the implementation of the boundary condition. So this figure shows fictitious as well as the real cells. Real cells, whatever inside this box, including the boundaries, are real cells, and whatever outside you are having the fictitious cells. Now, in x direction, we are having indices I, and in y direction, indices j is being used. Now you just see the centroid of these cells. I hope this is also you can see that this cell you just see, this fictitious cell you just see. So the centroid has a coordinate 1, 1. Okay, 1, 1. And this centroid is, you can see your I is 1 and J is n cell J. And similarly, if I talk about this is nothing but your n cell. This is just the nomenclature, n cell I, n cell J. Okay. And similarly, you can see this is uh, n cell I and J. This, so you know what are the coordinate system also. Now the same is written here. The grid points, if you whatever you can see, the grid points are represented by indices I and J, which run from for x or for I 1 to n cell I, and for J 1 to n cell J. So I, you just see here, I is 1 to from here to here, n cell I, and for J from J1 to n cell J. and you also can see that whatever this these points 1 and n cell I, n cell j, or whatever you can see the point, especially 1 है ना, n cell I and cell j are your fictitious points. ठीक है, whatever the corner centroid of these है ना, the points available at the center are the fictitious cells. So obviously their grid points are also the fictitious. So now you can understood from this, because in the calculations we have to consider only the real points, real interior cells or real points. So you have to exclude these points. Okay? So it means your real point for vary I, it will be for 2 to n cell I, and for j it will be 2 to n cell j minus 1. ठीक है, minus we have subtracted minus 1. So that is why now we are having the situation every will go when we implement the boundary conditions, then we will only consider the real points, but will take help of the fictitious points. How that will be clear from uh, the subsequent discussion. Now you just see again the same picture. You can see the mark of the real cell or the real boundary of the system, any rectangular. Okay. Okay, now if I want to employ, you just try to understand. If I consider we are having a no slip condition, let's say. If I give no slip condition on this wall, ठीक है, no slip means क्या हुआ? U0 V0 means velocities are 0. Just for the your, it could be anything, है ना? I'm just assuming that as per the book, I'm just adopting this thing, but real situation already I have explained in the examples in the first in the previous slides, है ना? By giving the example of the aeroplane and your classroom or the flow in a pipe like that. But here we are considering arbitrarily or any situation so that you can understand with reference to your book. So no slip means U0 V0. Now temperature also you can consider here. Okay, let's say temperature you can consider because the temperature implementation is not given in your book, but you can consider anyway, no issue. And pressure also you can consider dP by dx, sorry dy, because we are focusing on the bottom, है ना? So gradient of with respect to y, है ना, dP by ds, and similarly I suggested so for pressure also, pressure correction also you have to consider the same situation. ठीक है? Now this is figure A, है ना? This figure A you will see that we are referring for the implementation part. Okay, now this is let's say the bottom boundary is a rigid no slip wall. ठीक है? So this is a rigid no slip wall. So now for no slip we already know the boundary condition, and now for this condition we have to implement, only keep in mind this boundary condition now. Okay, so now the important thing is that you just consider this cell, bottom of this real surface, and the above one. So one fictitious cell below and one real cell above this surface. Now I will again suggest you just consider the centroid of this cell and centroid of this cell also. ठीक है? So this is I2, it is okay, I2 and J1, and this is, let's say, uh, your what would be the coordinate? J, I2 and J2, I think, है ना? I2 and J2, let's say this, for instance. Now here actually you have to vary your I for the for this bottom boundary. How you can do it now? So as I already given many things, means the boundary condition for your reference, I just kept it here, but I already given you the idea of the pressure condition temperature conditions also. Now what we are doing, so when we implement this no slip condition, so the simplest idea is that if whatever be the velocity at this centroid and whatever be the velocity at this centroid, we just take the mean. Mean means velocity here, u, let's say the v velocity or u velocity, let's say, you know, or phi, let's say phi. Okay. So if I consider phi plus phi by 2 equals to 0. Phi by phi 2 means you just consider these coordinate system also. This is not, or phi 1 or phi 2, let's say. So if I consider the mean equals to 0, then we can employ. So here we have utilized the fictitious cell as well as the real cell. So that is the same story here. You just see. So because you have to vary I, as I said, and j is 1 and j is 2. So j is 1 here, and j, you can see the j is 1 here and j is here 2. And I you have to vary. I is vary. Okay? So just mean, you just can modify it. I phi at I1 and this phi is at I2. That's it. Okay? So if you just take the mean, means you are representing this 0, u0. Okay? And v also, you just take the mean, that will be 0. Okay, this also written in the words also. So what we have did, velocity at the fictitious node equal to and opposite to the adjacent interior node, so that the average velocity at the physical boundary is the cell phase in between is 0. It means this is the physical boundary, the real boundary. So for this entire boundary, by considering or by varying I, you can have this condition. And pressure, as I suggested, you consider dP by dy equals to 0. So you just do it here also, you will get this. Okay. Or you just take um, the discretization and you will get this. What we are doing in the image point technique, that the same is applicable here also. The same is applicable for the pressure correction, no need to worry. And here you just see, we have counted only the real points. If you just go back, so we have only considered the real points. So we have varied I here, 2 to n cell I minus 1. I is 2 to n cell I. So this is the implementation. You can do it for the bottom. And similarly, let's say for the north wall. And north wall means this is the rectangular box, and now we are talking about this, and you have to consider the fictitious cell above and below this. Okay, and for fictitious cell, you just have to for the u velocities, you have to do it, simplify this by central difference, you can do it. And for this, it is nothing but you just can consider that this is last point is your n cell j. Okay, or the below point is n cell j minus 1. Okay, and I you have to vary. So for entire I, so for entire I, and at n cell j equals to n cell j minus 1, that will give you the this boundary condition. And as you can see, the velocity is 0. So you just can see the negative sign also here. Don't here also you can see the negative sign. That is why your mean would be 0. Now the pressure boundary condition and the pressure conditions both are same. P or P dash you can consider. This is, and temperature you can consider as suggested, dt by dy equals to 0. Okay. So one thing I just tell you here on this, okay. So at every boundary, okay, at every rectangular boundary except this object, you consider this condition dt by d n, I am using n as a normal direction equals to 0 for the temperature. So here, because the wall is your heated, this block is heated, so the temperature is only different here, but rest of the boundary is having the same temperature. So with this argument, you just can see that I suggested that for the north boundary, del T by del Y equals to 0. And pressure already except outlet, you are having this boundary condition. So rest of the boundary condition I already explained to you for this north wall. Now consider, means we'll consider all the four walls, okay, for this arbitrary geometry. So now consider the outlet case. Outlet case is also simple. There could be two options. Outlet, you can say, as I suggested, you can use this convective boundary condition, or if you are not interested, you can use del phi by del x. Means here in x direction we are having the gradient in x. Okay, if you are using this x, then it is very simple. Whatever we are, you use the central difference, and then you just have this one. Okay, this one, and this one. You just make it equal. Okay. And don't worry about this s, or you can see the s and s plus 1 level. Don't worry about this. Okay, this is being used when we are doing the calculations. Okay, which level or what level. So don't worry about it. But if you are interested in the implementation of this, you are only have to discretize. You will be only having this one. But if you are interested in this, you just take the CDS, central differencing scheme for this, and you will be getting this. Okay, simple, you do the simple central difference implementation, you will get it. Okay, because dt is your delta t is here time step. Now the pressure condition at the outlet, as I suggested, you will be requiring the Dirichlet condition, so pressure should be 0. So this is, you just can see the negative sign, and same condition is applicable for the pressure correction equation. Whatever the pressure, same condition you have to give for the pressure correction, just to avoid any confusion. And here, because we are only on the outlet side, so J indices will vary and it will covering the real point 2 to n cell J minus 1. Okay. And this you see, you can see here the average streamwise velocity, and phi is already, you know, the convective variable. It could be UE, you know, T, like that. Now only the inlet boundary condition is left, and inlet condition you can have two options. Two option means one is the simple option where you are having a uniform velocity, or we are talking about the inlet. Okay? Or if this is the rectangular box, so we are here now. We have covered this, we have covered this, we have covered this. Now we are here. So though two options, one is uniform case, means in an external flow situation you are having uniform velocity, but if you are in a channel confined case, or where you are having a real boundaries, then you are having this. You can recall uy. We have, so this is simple. If you are having a this condition, if you want to implement this in a confined, sorry, in a unconfined case, or in this uniform case, so you have to set this in such a way that your velocity will be 1. So you can better realize here. So you have to vary j, and j is varying from 2 to n cell j minus 1, and you just say the mean u1 comma j plus u2 comma j divided by 2 equals to this. Okay? Equals to 1. It obviously it will be 1. Now, in the case of a confined, in this case, you know the expression also. So that expressions you have to write here. And the second part, you can see the or is written here. Second part will give you the for the channel confined case. Okay. Rest story is the same. You are having a v velocity 0. So v is means you can see the negative sign. Pressure condition or the temperature conditions are the same. Here x is 0. P or P dash 0, del T by del X is 0. So rest story is the same. So in this way, we have seen the implementations for any rectangular domain. Okay. And if you are having any query, you can ask now. Next part you will consider the calculation of time step. Many of you during the presentations also you can see when some of you given the presentation that we have the choice of the time step, how we can make better choice. You know? So, so there is an option. So generally in explicit methods, we know that are numerically unstable. Means we have to provide very small time step. ठीक है? To make them stable, and also we have seen while discussing about the stability issues, for instance, explicit method, pure implicit method, and Krein-Nicolson method. Okay, we have seen what are the drawback of the explicit methods. ठीक है? So if in explicit method time exceeds some value prescribed by a stability analysis, then we are in a trouble and we will not get the convergence. And if anyhow if we are getting solution, that will not be a realistic solution. Okay, so a exact stability is not possible. It is also true. We know that it is not possible because time step we have to guess and then we have to update it. So however, we are having two ways to fix this. So one is the von Neumann stability analysis applied to the advection diffusion equations, means the governing equations we have studied with an explicit FTCS. FTCS also you know the name, forward in time, central in space. This also we know that can provide some realistic or some reasonable guidance. So what is this criteria? Now we'll study this. So ultimately you will see the two criteria here. So one is the Courant-Friedrich-Levy criterion. So it is actually two criteria for two special situations. So it is for the pure convection case. So according to this, the mathematically it is expressed by this delta t in bracket. You can see u mod divided by delta x plus v mod divided by delta y less than equals to 1. So this restriction for the time step means that a fluid particle cannot move more than one grid length in a single time step. Okay, this is the criteria. If you can use it, then this will produce some criteria for the time step and delta t. How you can fix it? The other criteria is grid Fourier number criterion. It is for pure diffusion case. As I said, two extreme cases are covered here. One is the pure convection case and one is the pure diffusion case. So here the mathematically it is explained like this. Now this means that each time the spatial mass is halved, the time step has to be reduced by a factor of 4. Okay. So what is the remedy? Which criteria when is to be used? So the simplest is whichever give you the small value of the time step, you should use that. Okay. When both convection and diffusion are present, obviously in our equation both are present, the stability criteria is more complicated. In order to deal with this complexity, the most often both criteria are individually applied and the smaller delta t is chosen. So what can be done? So you make a subroutine for the time step calculation, and in that you incorporate both the time steps and you just determine, you calculate or determine the time step from both the criterias, and now use which is giving you the smaller value of the time step. So that is the remedy. So this is also being done when you are making a computer program. If you are interested, then you have to provide one uh, subroutine also to fix the time step. Okay. If you don't, if you are not interested, then you have to use a very small value of the delta t. Okay, of the order of 10, of the order of 10 raised to power minus 4 or so, or maybe less than that. maybe less than that means in case of a highly nonlinear equations, which is applicable. Highly nonlinear means non-Newton fluids if you are simplifying. So means delta T if it is very less means the progress is very slow. So you just try to incorporate a subroutine for this. It is better. That will increase the or fasten the computations. Okay, now the last topic you can see the solution algorithm. So now you are having entire idea of the finite volume method, the equations, boundary condition implementations, time steps, so everything you can see here. So okay, so the velocity or the variable, any variable phi, pressure at the cell center, velocity, mass flux at the phase are computed by the following algorithm. ठीक है? The simple, if you keep in mind, means what we did in a simple method, we have guessed the pressure and then we have predicted the velocity. Okay, and then we have used the Poisson equation. From Poisson equation we got the pressure correction, and then we have calculated the your velocities and the actual pressures. Then we use those updated values of your velocity and pressures, and then we go to the next step and we just repeated the cycle till the convergence criteria is satisfied. So this is we already seen in the simple method, but here it is slightly including more steps because the more equations are present. That is the only issue. So okay, what it says, so establish the problem by selecting the computational, it is the general computational domain size and the governing parameters, and by calculating the geometrical parameter. This is the same, means here you will be requiring your governing parameters. What at what first of all, you just computational domain size. What is your computational domain? You are having a rectangular domain, just you have seen, or at what Reynolds number, at what thing you are calculating. For instance, Reynolds number, at what Reynolds number, at what velocities. Geometrical parameters means you are having what is the volume, what is the surface area, all those things. Okay? Here you will, before computation, these are required. Okay. Now select the initial and boundary condition. So initial condition if are given, that is okay. If not given, you can assume 0. Boundary condition already given to you or already you have seen. Okay? So we have seen the boundary condition for velocity, pressure, temperature, even pressure correction also, whatever you have seen. Initial condition, as I suggested, you can give 0 or anything in the case of a steady state, because we have to march in time. Or if it is initial condition, then it is available to you. Okay, now come to the calculation part. Okay, so compute the, first of all we have to compute the phase center mass flux for all real cell from equation 27 and 20 using the initial values. Okay, so equations you have to refer to the previous chapter, so I could not keep here. So mass center values you have to calculate. Then you can see the step number 4. Calculate the optimum time step. Optimum time step, just we have seen equation number 46 and 47. I just give you, go back. This is 47 CFL criteria and this is 47 grid Fourier number criterion. So you have to make this subroutine as I suggested, and then you use the smaller value of the time step. This will give you the time step. Now this is, you know already, this is the tilde velocity, you know. Compute tilde velocity and then predict the velocities. You know, this is the star values for the prediction, or the predicted value from equation 23 and equation 24 we have seen in the previous lecture. Use linear interpolation because in tilde velocity you have seen, we will be requiring this linear interpolation. For the pressure it is very clear, but for tilde velocity we have used somewhere the linear interpolation also, though we have used the momentum interpolation also by suggested by Ricci, Ri and Chow. Okay? and equations 27 and 28 to obtain the F star. F star is your predicted value of the mass star. So S star is your prediction. Okay. And this will give you this the right hand side. You can see the residue also we have considered. No? We will see residue also. So use boundary conditions for the predicted values at the fictitious cells. Set the pressure correction for the cells. Initially you have to use pressure because nothing is available. You can select pressure corrections. Impose boundary corrections, boundary conditions. Now in 9 part, phase center mass flux corrections for each real cell is computed by equation 35. Now this is the residue I am talking about. So compute the residual because this has to make 0, and I also suggested this should be roughly around 10 raised to power minus 8 minus 4 because we have to make 0 this. Now this is slightly new step. So calculate the cell center pressure correction from equation 35 for all real cells and find this. Okay, so this is just nothing but we have determined the RMS values. RMS value we just determined by taking the under root summation of R square by number of cells. How many number of cells we are having? Now I think okay. So go to step 7. 7, what 7 says? 7 is set the pressure correction. If R residue is greater than epsilon, epsilon this I already suggested. This you have to make it 0, residue. So if R is greater than this, when that here it says 10 raised to power minus. This is otherwise the final iteration value are now treated as the converged value. Because in the one time step loop you are having the one more loop, so that where it is actually required this R. So R where we did the pressure correction equation we have solved. So this P dash actually we are finding. Let's say we are assumed that we got the converged pressure. Now the cell center velocity correction and phase center mass flux corrections are computed from the converged pressure correction. So converged pressure correction already we have obtained here. So we will use now equation 35 and 30, 31 and 35, and now we will get the value of U and F. ठीक है, by equation number 30. So use equation number this is obviously number 14 and this is 15 and this is 16. So use boundary condition for the corrected values at the fictitious cells. Now for the force convection means it is already simplified. If you are having a for the force convection problem, solve the energy equation for the inherently unsteady flows problems. Otherwise, it is better to calculate it after the steady state flow is obtained. Use boundary condition for the temperature at the fictitious cells. Go to step 4. 4 is calculation of the time step. Go to step 4 and repeat the process until the stopping criteria is reached. Stopping criteria means this is the outer loop. This is loop 1. This is loop 2. So in this loop 2 you are having convergence criteria, let's say 10 raised to power minus 8, and for the outer loop, for the outer time step loop, that the convergence criteria is, let's say 10 raised to power minus 3. So go to last step is go to step 4 and repeat the process until the stopping criteria is attained. So this way you can work on your uh, means algorithm if you want to solve your any problem with the help of this finite volume method. So I think this will the end of this finite volume methodology. If you are having any question, please ask. Do you have any questions now? One more thing I can tell you that please read from the book. The book already I have suggested. Muralidhara and Sundarajan, there is a chapter on it, and many things you will find in that chapter, and some of the things you will not find. Okay, that is just for the for your understanding, especially this you will not find, and also I think rest you will find. I have slightly modified these slides just to explain you by giving the, for instance, the velocities here, the boundary condition, and then I try to explain you, and rest is the same thing. Okay. So this is the end of this course also. And if you are having any query, you can ask now, because I don't think we will require another classes. And if you want some more classes on any topic, I am ready to tell you. I want to hear from you. Do you have any query now? Because this is the last class of this course. Or any suggestion, anything you want to ask?
No, sir.
Sir, for in term,
Yes. You should ask
what
about the
type of
interest.
questions? Numerical or theoretical basis?
Because this will be a online examination, and I will conduct or I am interested in a 2-hour exam. So your exam is on 15th November, and I think in the morning session. So I'm interested in a 2-hour exam, and mostly it will be a numerical one. And mostly you can see the numerical part. Mostly we have covered the finite difference, mainly. So finite volume method, I don't see will have numericals, but uh, finite difference you will have to have numericals. But don't ignore the finite volume method also. Okay.
Sir, syllabus which we covered before mid-sem is also part of this
Yes.
end-sem exam.
Yes. Yeah. If I exclude that, then there is a problem. For me, it is a problem. Then how I can make a numerical, because in first part we have covered many things about the finite difference method, and I already said that the numericals mainly will be from the finite difference method, and that is mainly we have covered in the first part. Finite volume method,
Oh,
in the end I said you should not ignore. Okay. I
okay, sir.
it may possible I will give some simple questions also. Okay, you can't ignore. But major problems would be from finite difference. Any other queries? So
Sir,
how do
in midterm,
yes. Yes.
like the problem was lengthy, like 100 into 100 matrix type or that. So in term, it will be manually solved or by computer type, by programming.
No program. No program. I will not give any program.
So means manually it can be solved.
Yes.
That type of.
Problem would be the in the midterm it was of 1 hour exam. Now it is of a 2 hour exam. So more problem you may get.
Yeah, but sir, midterm exam was lengthy, and most of the problem was 100 into 100 matrix and 10 by 10 matrix. So it's not
But
possible to solve.
I can tell you many of you solved it. I don't know how.
Maybe they have some code or some previous knowledge of that thing. That's why they can solve. But
or
all of us,
if I don't know, all are you available in the campus? That is only one more solution. If all are available in the campus, then we can have a offline exam also. There is, or in a classroom inside. Online, it would be online one because it is declared. But in a classroom or in a hall, I don't know. Okay, I ignore that possibility.
No, sir.
No. We'll conduct the online exam.
We are not at campus.
Okay, okay. We'll conduct the online exam as we have seen in the midterm because as Ashish said, he is not here and many of you will not be here. So I suggest you please practice that canvas. You know?
Sir, can you share some examples related to the questions which are asked in
Any
exam?
unsolved problem. You
So,
just
yes,
target
sir. Solve.
unsolved problem. You just target. Try to simple whatever we have studied in this course. Based on that, you just try to solve. Okay, you can ask another questions, but lastly, because this is the end of this course, so I just want to thank all of you. And if you are having any suggestions about this course, so you can tell me, and I hope you can give me the good response about this course. I can, I hope you can give. Eh? So,
Sir, can you provide the sample paper? Which type of question will be asked?
sample paper, you just focus the mainly on the midterm exam. Actually, sample paper I
Midterm
can't,
type.
midterm type.
But
It
sir,
would be
midterm
more
was
or less
lengthy.
lengthy. That was for 1 hour,
सर
na?
मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चन दे दीजिए.
Actually, this is the limitation also for me. How actually many of you do the copy. If you not do, because I know some of you will do the copy. So
Yeah, but
something
sir, it's numerical. It's also happen as one if one student did that problems, then all copied that numericals. It may be
that is
happen.
how I can avoid it. That is the problem for me because you are not here, or that
No,
possibility
sir.
is also.
In theoretical, it may be happen that if all have the same answer, then it may be copied. So you can judge by that thing. Because
Okay.
in theoretical types, if someone has understand that things, so he or she may write in their own language. So that may
Okay.
be happen.
Okay, I'll try. I'll try that also.
Because
But
sir, numerical, it's maybe happen that some numericals or programming may be not done by all of us, and not
yes, yes.
that type of computer we don't know.
Okay, I try. I just will see seriously your advice. Okay. So, but yes. So for numerical part, you can focus on the midterm type of exam, but don't forget that was of 1 hour. So now we are having it. Okay, that lengthiness will not be there. I hope so. है ना? And
It's
also
optional or sir,
no choice. You will
no
have to
choice.
attend all questions. ठीक है? So thank you all. Any suggestion for this course? How do you like this course? Lengthy or not good or not very? I tried from my side. I tried my best. I think.
Sir, course is good, but we write lots of equations. But on the equations, if we did some problems, then it will be helpful for us for exam or other.
Problems you just
Like we only read the equations like this is this type of lengthy equations. So how can we remember that type of equations and how can we implement that equation in problems? That is the
okay. The answer I can give if you satisfied with it. The equations they go simple equations है. If you remember one equation, even for the steady state, simple steady state equation you just remember. You can add one derivative. You can have a time dependent equation. You can add one more derivative. You can have a means I'm not expecting too hard equations. If you just see entire course, you are having a 1D steady states, 2D steady state, 3D steady state, and now you can extend those for the 1D transient, 2D transient, 3D transient. You also can extend for slightly complicated situations. So I think that is not hard equations, I think. But as far as your solution is concerned, you just also have seen some good examples in this course itself that how we have handled the initial fin problem, how we have handled it. And I can assure you, whatever you can see in these slides, whatever I have explained you, this much of detail you will not find in your book. That is also sure. How I categorize the problems, how you have to handle it. So many realistic examples I have also given you. So So one more thing also it can be done that if you can discuss here in the campus, if you are here, then we can also have seen some issues, some remedies to solve this. But many of you are not here, and the best I can do, I tried my best. I think I can say that. So anyway, don't as I said, this is not the course about fail and pass. Already I said it is just for your understanding, how you understood, because you will remember in future that we have studied this course, and okay, we have studied this, we try to cover every aspects from whatever presentations you have given us, and from my side you have only the limited, the basics, mainly basics. And also if you, because some of you I know have made your computer programs, and they also said to me, okay sir, we got means we realized that this is a very good course, so because this is a mix, na, here a BTech is also, MTech is also, PhD is also, ठीक है,
Okay, sir.
और सब ठीक. So do
Yes,
you
sir.
require any lectures? If you are requiring any lecture, you just can tell me, I can give you, no issue, any lecture on any topic, ठीक है. So with this I think have a nice day, and I just close this meeting. Shall I close it, or have any questions from your side?
सर थ्योरेटिकल क्वेश्चंस भी रहेंगे ईटी में?
Theoretical, one of you suggested theoretical, but theoretical part हो सकता है कम होगा, इसलिए मैंने बोला है कि डोंट फॉरगेट.
सर थ्योरेटिकल का भी वेटेज थोड़ा होना चाहिए, लाइक 30 to 40%, बिकॉज क्लासेस जो किए वो तो थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन बेटर कर पाएंगे ना, जो नहीं किए या जो नहीं पढ़े, कॉपी किए, वो तो उतना बेटर नहीं कर पाएंगे.
हाँ, तो थोड़ा थ्योरेटिकल इस बार होगा,
क्योंकि न्यूमेरिकल में ये भी हो सकता है कि जो कोडिंग है वो किसी के पास पहले से हो और उसमें किसी को आइडिया नहीं हो, तो वो तो फंस जाएगा, वो एग्जाम में नहीं कर पाएगा ना. एंड
नहीं नहीं,
थ्योरेटिकल करने से हाँ
ठीक है, वेरी गुड. तो थ्योरेटिकल जैसे रहेगा, इसलिए मैंने बोला कि डोंट फॉरगेट फाइनाइट वॉल्यूम मेथड. हमने पढ़ लिया, ठीक है, हमने इतना टाइम भी इन्वेस्ट किया, ठीक है, लेकिन उसको एग्जाम के लिए अगर नहीं पढ़ा तो मतलब यू लूज समथिंग. सो रीड इट, ठीक है.
सर 3D से तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी ना, आपने बोला था कि
3D का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. 3D से थ्योरेटिकल में शायद कुछ हो सकता है, न्यूमेरिकल नहीं होगा 3D का, है ना, क्योंकि वो नहीं हो पाएगा 2 घंटे में, इम्पॉसिबल. ठीक है,
ओके.
चलो ठीक है, और कुछ हो तो बताओ, नहीं तो जस्ट बंद करें. और नाउ आई थिंक वी विल मीट ऑन 15th इन योर एग्जाम, और प्रैक्टिस कैनवस है ना, कैनवस से होगा एग्जाम, ठीक है. एनी अदर क्वेश्चन, और शैल आई क्लोज दिस मीटिंग?
सर कैनवास में जो रूल्स है ना, जो अगर एक क्वेश्चन स्किप करो तो उसके बाद उस क्वेश्चन में सॉल्व नहीं कर सकते हो मिड सेम के तरह?
नहीं, वो नहीं करेंगे, वो तो करेगा ही, वो तो रहेगा ही रहेगा, क्योंकि सब कॉपी हो जाएगा, नहीं तो ना वो सोनू वो नहीं कर सकते. वो तो एक कर लिया तभी आगे जाओगे.
ओके सर.
उसको अवॉइड नहीं कर सकते सोनू, वेरी प्रॉब्लमेटिक ना.
दिन सर अगर थ्योरेटिकली क्वेश्चन हो तो उसका पीडीएफ कहाँ पर सेंड कर मैंने
सब कुछ आपको ईमेल एड्रेस दिया है ना, जो जहाँ पे आपने प्रोग्राम सबमिट किया है.
यस सर.
सब कुछ जहाँ पे आपने सबमिट किया है उसी मेल आईडी पे है ना. CHE515CFD2021 जीमेल वाला जो अकाउंट है, एवरीथिंग यू हैव टू सेंड एट दैट जीमेल एड्रेस, नॉट एनीवेयर एल्स.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
वो इंस्ट्रक्शन में लिखा रहेगा, नो प्रॉब्लम.
थैंक यू सर.
चलो आई थिंक आई क्लोज नाउ, है ना. सो बेस्ट विशेस फ्रॉम माय साइड.
थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू ऑल, बाय बाय, टेक केयर.
थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye bye, take care, thank you.